Hello, everybody, and welcome to the very first of some analysis videos I'm doing of my own gameplay. And this is called the first 10 minutes. So I'm basically looking at the first 10 minutes of my games, looking for things that I can improve, mistakes that I've made, areas maybe where I could capitalize upon an enemy that I didn't. And so in this game, I am your heroine, Leona. So I'm playing support Leona. We have a Caitlyn, and we're against Jinx and a Volibear support. Volibear is actually not a very threatening support, personally. My experience with Leona, because his real gist is he's going to run up to you and toss you over his shoulder, and really, as long as it's not the carry, as long as it's Leona and Leona has her shield up, which is called Eclipse. As long as Eclipse is up, then it's really not that scary. Now, here is where this game starts to get a little bit wrong for Leona. My carry right now is saying, hey, at 155, let's rush their blue buff. Now, let's think about this for a moment, and I can't pause it for some reason, but I'll slow it down super fast. So we are... there's two situations. One situation is they're not taking this buff. They're taking the red buff, and then they're going to take the blue buff. The other is that they're taking the blue buff. And we can harass them or steal them. But let's think about this for a moment. So what happens is, let's say they're getting a leash, because you almost always are getting a leash. So if they're not getting a leash, let's say if they're not getting a leash, then we're probably going to meet their AD carry and support in the wood. So this is really just saying, do we want to do an AD carry support battle, which may be the right choice, but I don't think our carry was thinking that. And I definitely wasn't thinking it, but I love invade, so when the carry said, hey, let's rush the blue, I'm like, KK, let's do it. I love it. The other option is they're getting a leash, in which case we are outnumbered, because the carry and support are there, maybe the mid laner as well, and the jungler, and there's just the two of us. So, good in hindsight to think about that, but let's see how this pans out. So we are camera on Leona. We speed it up a little bit. So we're about go time. And here we go. 155. Let's charge. This blue buff is fucking ours. Oh wait. Holy cow, there is everyone here who is helping him leash. What a surprise. I even flash, but I cannot get away. They have an exhaust. Fizz kills me, and boom, I died. So now this is the beginning of a problem. The problem is now that I'm level 1. All right? So we'll just go to the lane and watch here. So now I'm level 1. Now, I have a little bit of gold. So we're going to see something that happens here that pans out much later in the game. So I'm basically buying stuff. I'm thinking, hey, I got enough money for a ward. It's like, wait a moment, I have enough money for a pink ward. You can see it down there in the corner. Now the problem is, what am I going to do with the pink ward? Well, the pink ward, I want to put in the river brush that is right here. It's a really great place to put a ward. A lot of people in solo queue do not check it. It lasts forever. Right, and it sees when mid starts wandering. If they start wandering bot, it sees when their jungler sneaks into the brush there. It's a very good ward, but I don't go put it there. Now, I did buy it, but I don't go put it there. Well, why not? Because I realized I'm level 1, and everyone here in this lane is leveling ahead of me. Now, Leona I put it here so it's not completely wasted. But here's the dilemma. I'm now level 1. Everyone else is my carry is level 3, and these guys are going to be level 3 in just a moment. I put a ward there to watch for the jungler coming. And then we have this situation where I am too weak. And now out of this came, the heart of this comes from the bad move on blue buff. So let's keep it, the realization where it's at. Or the acknowledgement of where it's at. But I'm now level 1. They're going to turn level 3 in a moment. I do not believe I don't get to level... Everyone is level 3 and I'm level 1. I am impotent. I don't even have my Zenith Blade to dive in. All I have is my little stun. And so basically, I'm in a situation where Leona's wonderful power in lane is her level 2 dive, which I can't do. There I'm level 2, but now everyone's still a level above me. Or just her ability to dive in general. And you'll see throughout this first 10 minutes that basically I just can't do any dives at all. I'm just too weak. So I'm hanging out in the brush to be like, brush control, you don't know where I'm at. Don't you want to not stand near the brush? And then I'm trying to stay parallel to my AD carry just because that's a nice habit to get into. Or it's the proper way to stand as a support. And let's say you consider Leona. Let's say I could dive. Well, the thing is, I want to be next to my AD carry, parallel to my AD carry in general when I dive, so that when I actually root them, the AD carry is within range to attack. If I'm up ahead of the AD carry, then basically they can't follow up on the dive. If I'm too far behind, then the AD carry is vulnerable to being attacked. So basically, I'm sitting here and I'm like, well, I have to play passive. There's been no Son of the Jungler, but we keep a good ward up. I'm basically just playing passive, just playing passives. Volibear really likes you to stand right here. Like that's his thing. When you're standing just outside of tower, he throws you in. Without that trick, he's not really that scary, I don't think. But if you fall for that trick, you'll die really fast. So basically, I'm just waiting. If Volibear tries to make a move, I want to put on my Eclipse to get extra armor, then stand between him and the carry. But other than that, I'm just waiting. I'm just waiting until this laning phase is done. Now, thankfully, our carry is farming better than them. So I'm just keeping up the vision, making sure that we don't see a jungler coming, or make sure we do see a jungler coming if they're coming. It's Nocturne, so ideally we would put vision deeper in the river, but it's just not convenient with just a single trinket. So we are just sitting here. We're pushing them under tower. And I think we're going to have a little bit of action here in a moment. Let's speed it up just a hair. A little bit more, a little bit more. We'll back up a little bit here. We'll slow down a little bit. Here's a place where, so I go into the bush. I should actually be up at least at the tip of the bush here. I'm not, because I should be parallel to my AD carry if I can. They're not going to be able to throw anything into the bush per se that I couldn't dodge. So I should have been a little closer. I should be staying kind of close. I'm actually slowly teasing Volibear there, hoping that he'll come and do something. And now, so we're getting pushed back. I do make a temper dive. There we go. So the moment Volibear started running, I put on my Eclipse and I stood in front of him so that he would hit me instead of the AD carry, and then I just walked away and popped a health pot. So not very scary for Leona. Leona is pretty tanky when she gets her Eclipse going. And here we are, I'm back full up again. Our carry was pining that perhaps he should not be using the Piltover Peacemaker to be clearing waves because he's all out of mana. But he actually is doing pretty well. I mean, he really is like punishing Jinx a lot CS-wise. And I really want to dive Jinx there, but I really just don't want to dive close to the tower because Volibear is about throwing you into the tower. So, and this whole time I'm always one level behind. So I was very, very hesitant to do any dives. And again, the carry is pushing them into the tower. Let's speed it up a little bit. Actually, let's pause it for a moment. Someone's missing. Fizz is missing. Let's see if we can go back and see when he vanished. So there's Fizz. Okay, so Fizz just he just backs away. But we have lost sight of him. And so there's some action that is brewing. Volibear is good in aggro. There's Fizz. Fizz has shown himself. Now, I threw myself in the way. Let's actually back up just a hair. Okay. Volibear started going aggro, and not actually anticipating Fizz, But oh my, there we go. I threw myself in the way just because I didn't want the 80 carry to get hit. So now I'm way behind, of course. Here I'm like got everyone around me. I'm feeling really super clever. I'm like, hey, I'm going to go ahead and throw a Zenith Blade to get the Fizz, which is sort of clever. But ultimately, I'm exhausted. I can't get away. They punish me. So we're thinking like, well, okay, that was bad. But let's stop for a moment, and I can't pause it, but let's actually rewind to when Fizz went away. And we're going to take off Fog of War. So now remember, I normally about here, I would actually have had a ward right here. So if we go back to when Fizz left mid lane, there he is. So let's watch right there. So that's where the ward would be. There he is. He would have walked right by it, and he wouldn't have walked through the brush. So this death that I had here, now thankfully, thankfully the carry actually got away. We'll speed it up a little bit. Thankfully the carry got away. In fact, the carry actually has a pretty cool move here, and so I'll let the carry shine. Gets fought into the tower. Volibear wisely leaves. Nocturne's feeling pretty full of himself. And he dies, which was pretty nice. But so the death that I had, now I'm coming back to lane. I don't think much happens in the next 30 seconds. The death that I had, that second death, well, the first death, we shouldn't have gone for the camp, right? That's a given. The second death was actually related to the first death. Because that first death, I was behind level, I couldn't spend the time to ward the river the way I normally do. And if I'd normally have warded the river, we would have seen Fizz coming from a mile away. And we would just have backed off and neither one of us would have died. It would have been a very, very good ward. As it happens, we did win this game. As you can see, our Caitlyn is really punishing their Jinx. And I think, well, actually we're winning, I think we were winning every lane, at least by a little, so often by a lot. So actually this game ended up in a surrender. But that was the first 10 minutes. Lesson learned about thinking that you can jump a blue buff that's being leashed. Bad idea. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed that, and I hope you found it somewhat useful.